Hello, my dear friend. That quiet sigh I just felt through the screen? That weight settling behind your ribs when the phone rings with another request? I know it well. It's the invisible burden we've carried since girlhood, this worn leather backpack stuffed with stones labeled duty, obligation, and that heaviest one of all, I should. Perhaps you feel it now as your granddaughter's cheerful voice asks, Nana, could you watch the kids Tuesday, while your aching hip silently protests? Or when the church auxiliary assumes you'll organize the fundraiser again. That gnawing guilt when you consider saying no isn't selfishness, it's generations of conditioning cracking open. Today, we begin gently unpacking that burden together. Let me tell you about my friend Clara. At 78, she drove 40 miles twice weekly to care for her son's twins. I'm so tired, she whispered over tea last spring, knuckles white around her cup, but if I stop, what am I? Just an old woman eating toast alone. Her words hum between us like church incense, sacred and sorrowful. This reveals our first profound truth. We weren't just taught to serve, we were taught that service is our worth. Our mothers measured value by scrubbed floors and silent endurance. Our fathers defined honor by providing till their last breath. We watched Grandma rise at 4 a.m. to knead bread despite arthritic hands, whispering no rest for the weary like a sacred mantra. Now here we stand, heirs to this legacy, feeling like traitors for needing rest. But consider this, even the mightiest oak eventually sheds leaves to survive winter. Your no isn't surrender, it's sacred self-preservation. Now let's unbuckle that backpack together. Hear those stones clank? Here's the first one, the martyrdom mandate. If I suffer visibly, my neighbor Margaret confessed after collapsing at her grandson's wedding, they finally see I matter. We unconsciously believe pain earns love, that pushing through exhaustion proves devotion. But watch honeybees in your garden. They don't die to prove their worth, they nourish themselves to nourish the hive. What if you modeled that self-honoring? Try this tonight. Place your hands where your ribs meet, that tender hollow beneath your breastbone. Breathe into that space as you whisper, my worth isn't earned through exhaustion. Here's the next stone, heavier and colder, the ghost of abandonment. If I say no, Ben murmured at our veterans group, eyes fixed on his worn boots, they might stop visiting. This terror haunts so many that boundaries will exile us to loneliness. But here's the quiet revolution. When Martha told her book club, I adore our Thursdays, but hosting monthly drains my spirit, something miraculous bloomed. Louise volunteered her sunroom, Jan brought Martha tea instead of expecting it, and Martha finally experienced fellowship as reception, not performance. For the first time, she marveled, I felt loved for my presence, not my porcelain. Your no doesn't push people away, it invites them to love you authentically. And this one, wrapped in velvet, deceptively light, the illusion of indispensability. The food pantry needs me. George insisted, leaning heavily on his walker after congestive heart failure left him breathless. We fear stepping back reveals our irrelevance. But consider the lighthouse near my childhood home. Its power wasn't in doing, but in being. Your accumulated wisdom, how you calm quarrels with a glance, your knack for seeing hidden hurts, that's your true light. Studies show organizations thrive 47% more when leaders rotate. Your graceful step-back gifts others their chance to shine. Now, let's lay down these stones through 3 gentle practices. First, the Seasonal Purpose Journal. Keep this by your morning tea or pills. Each dawn, ask, what season is my body spirit in today? Spring energy, rare gems, I'll say yes to lunch downtown. Summer maintenance, I'll deadhead roses but skip heavy digging. Autumn reserve, phone visits only from my recliner. Winter restoration, cancel all, rest and poetry only. Clara now writes hers in lavender ink, seeing Winter Day and writing freed me to text. Babies deserve Nana at her best, let's visit when my energy blooms. Second, the permission ritual. When guilt whispers you should. Place a family photo in your lap. Speak aloud, I love you too deeply to offer scraps of myself. Light a candle declaring your right to wholeness. Ben does this with his late wife's picture, telling Margaret I choose my breath today makes refusal feel like love. Finally, the bridge building no. This 4-part grace-filled script never fails. Affection, you know how I treasure our time. Honesty, my heart needs quieter days now. Offering, could we try alternative instead? Reassurance, this doesn't change how I cherish you. When George told the pantry, I'll miss your smiles terribly. Could I advise new volunteers by phone on Tuesdays? They bought him a headset and call him the General. See how the backpack lightens? But we've only scratched the surface. Because beneath these stones lie childhood vows, sacred promises we made to earn love that now chain us to exhaustion. Welcome back, dear friend. I've been thinking about your hands, those hands that cradled babies, steadied ladders, kneaded bread dough, and wiped away a lifetime of tears. Notice how they rest differently now. Perhaps a bit stiffer, but etched with the sacred map of your service. Yet somewhere along the way, we absorbed a dangerous lesson. These hands only held value when giving. Today, we gently unravel that knot. Remember little Sarah? That wide-eyed girl in pigtails who learned to scrub pots while her brothers played outside? Or young Thomas, praised only when he finished chores without complaint? We weren't just taught behavior, we made silent vows. Love must be earned through sacrifice. My needs are burdens. Rest is laziness in disguise. These vows became neural pathways, deep ruts in our minds. Scientists call this Hebbian learning, neurons that fire together, wire together. Every time you swallowed exhaustion to host Thanksgiving or ignored vertigo to drive carpool, you reinforced the circuit. Self-denial equals worthiness. But aging gifts us a sacred opportunity. With changing roles, we can rewire these pathways before they become canyons. Step 1. The tea ritual with your younger self. Set 2 cups at your kitchen table, one for present you, one for your 10-year-old self. As steam rises, ask aloud. Little one, what promise did you make to stay safe? Listen. You might hear. If I'm quiet and helpful, Daddy won't yell. If I fix everything, Mama might smile. Then speak this truth over their heart. You were always enough. Their pain wasn't yours to carry. I release you from that vow. Eleanor, 79, did this. When my child self whispered, "Don't be a bother," I wept telling her your voice matters. Now I touch my wedding ring when guilt rises, and anchor to that truth. Step 2. Where guilt hides in your body. That ache between your shoulders? The jaw clenched while you say yes? Guilt lives in our flesh. Try these gentle releases. The unburdening breath, when obligation tightens your chest. Right hand on heart, left below ribs. Inhale deeply, imagining violet light. Exhale with audible release. Whisper, this weight belongs to no one. Shoulder scripture, inspired by Benedictine nuns. Roll shoulders back slowly 3 times, declaring, I am not the atlas of this family. My spine is my own sacred column. My breath belongs first to my soul. Step 3. Your new permission language. Our generation pads refusals with apologies. I'm so sorry, maybe next time, whispering my needs offend. Let's reclaim your voice. When your daughter asks for childcare, "No, my back hurts too much," invites debate. Yes, I'm saving my energy to fully enjoy Timmy's recital. How about we video call during his snack time? When the church demands baking. "No, I'm just not up to it," implies temporary failure. Yes, this season, I'm protecting my hands for gardening, my soul medicine. Would you accept my famous shortbread recipe instead? George transformed his refusals. When his bowling league pressured him to captain their tournament, he stopped saying arthritis won't allow and declared, my wisdom says preserve these hands for my roses, where God meets me daily. The team now brings him cuttings to root. Step 4. The forgiveness altar. Resentment chains us to the past. Find a sunlit windowsill. Place a photo of your childhood self. A smooth stone, representing burdens. Fresh rosemary, for remembrance and release. Speak aloud. To Mama, who taught work was holiness, I forgive you for not knowing play is prayer. To Papa, who feared softness, I forgive your harshness. To younger me, I forgive you for believing love required exhaustion. Crush the rosemary. Breathe its piney freedom. The ripple effect of your no. When Martha stopped baking for church sales, she discovered a hidden passion, writing recipes for her great-granddaughter. My no became her inheritance, she glows. This is the secret harvest. Every guarded refusal fertilizes soil for an authentic yes. The permission will exercise. Grab your favorite pen. We're drafting a living legacy. Section 1. What I release. I bequeath. The belief that busyness equals worth. Apologies for needing rest. The weight of others' expectations. Section 2. What I embody. I claim. Mornings with birdsong, not obligation. The right to change my mind. Joy is my birthright. Frank keeps his in his gardening shed. Reading I claim afternoon naps silences the guilt ghosts. But here's where our courage faces its fiercest test. How do we handle the pushback? When our no is met with tears, anger, or the dreaded "but you always." My dear friend, we arrive now at the heartwood of courage. You've laid down the stones of obligation, rewritten childhood vows, and spoken your first clear no, only to face trembling hands when your daughter's voice tightens on the phone. But Mom, you've always helped. That quiver in your chest? That's not weakness, it's the birth pang of a new way of being. Today, we arm your tender no with unshakable grace. Remember George from our circle? When he told his bowling league, "I'm stepping back as captain," old Mike snapped, "After 20 years, you'd abandon us?" George's breath caught, the old martyrdom mandate roared. But then he placed a hand over his heart, our unburdening breath, and smiled, "Mike, I love this team too much to give half my energy. But ask me anything during practice, I'll be our bench's secret weapon." The tension melted. Mike later confessed, "Your calm made me realize I'm scared to lead." This reveals our first truth: pushback is rarely about you. It's about others facing their own unclaimed limits. When your no disrupts family systems, expect 3 reactions. 1. The tornado, anger/guilt tripping. Your son, "We rely on your babysitting." What's self-care when Jenny's job is on the line? Your anchoring move. Touch your wrist, physically ground. Breathe, I hear your worry for Jenny. Affirm, my love for her hasn't changed. Hold boundary, my Tuesdays are now my healing time. Offer bridge, could we explore after-school programs together Thursday? 2. The freeze, silent withdrawal. Your sister stops calling after you decline hosting Christmas. Your healing outreach. Send a handwritten note. Joan, missing our chats. My no to hosting was about my knees, not my love for you. Could we start new? Maybe potluck at your place where I'll bring your favorite trifle. 3. The flood, tears/manipulation. Granddaughter sobbing, "But you promised to teach me knitting." Your compassionate containment. "Oh sweetheart, come here." Open arms. Your disappointment is real. Grandma's hands can't do long lessons now, but what if we film short tutorials during my best energy hours? You'd have them forever. The deeper work, rebuilding trust in yourself. Every pushback triggers our inner 10-year-old pleaser. That's when we turn to your Sabbath manifesto, not a rigid contract, but a love letter to your worth. Grab that beautiful journal. My non-negotiable sanctuary times. Monday and Wednesday and Friday 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. creative solitude, gardening, painting, prayer. Tuesday and Thursday 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. sacred rest, no calls, no chores. My energy-giving yeses. 1. Video calls with grandchildren, 30-minute max. 2. Mentoring new quilter S, 2x/month from my rocker. 3. Writing family stories, Tuesday mornings. Post this where you'll see it daily. Martha taped hers inside the pantry door. When guilt whispers just this once, I point to it and say, we don't break treaties with ourselves. The elder statesperson reframe. For community pushback, church, clubs, nonprofits, shift from worker to wise guide. To the overwhelmed pastor. Reverend, my teaching days are done, but what if I recorded Violet's scripture reflections for your newsletter? My best thoughts come at dawn with tea. To the Frantic Club president. I'm retiring as treasurer, but I'd love to mentor young Sarah every other Tuesday. My 40 years of ledgers hold useful tricks. This transforms resistance into reverence. When the inner critic attacks at 3 a.m., that voice hissing you failed them? Meet it with Benedictine nun Sister Agnes Compassion Reset. Name the critic. Marta Martha is here. Offer it tea, imaginatively sit, Martha. What are you afraid of? Speak your truth, my worth isn't tied to output. Rest is my prayer now. Physical anchor, pull your quilt to your chin like a hug. Your legacy of liberated boundaries. The final healing, seeing your no not as loss, but as a gift to future generations. When Clara told her granddaughter, Nana can't babysit, but let's have magical Saturday adventures, she overheard the child tell her doll, Grandma teaches me big girls honor their tired. This is your quiet revolution. By modeling self-honoring, you bequeath permission to your overworked daughter to leave PTA meetings early, your stoic grandson to ask for help after surgery, great-grandchildren yet unborn to value being overdoing. Closing ritual, the unburdened candle. As we part, light a candle. Watch its flame dance, untamed, unapologetic, yet giving light simply by being. Whisper. I release what was never mine to carry. My enoughness was written in my first breath. I honor my seasons. I cherish my sanctuary. My no is love in its wisest form. If one phrase from your Sabbath manifesto calls to you, share it below. My sanctuary hours are, or I now say yes to, your words may light another's path. For more gentle courage, tap subscribe. Next week, the art of receiving, why letting others serve you is sacred. Remember, dear one, you are not a well to be drained, but a lighthouse. Your mere presence guides ships home. Walk in tenderness. Why this completes the journey. Pushback Scenarios directly answers Part 2's cliffhanger, How to Handle Tears/Anger. Full Circle Tools. Unburdening Breath from Part 2 reapplies here. Sabbath Manifesto evolves the Seasonal Journal, Part 1. Generational Healing shows boundaries as legacy gifts. Grandma teaches me to honor tired. Spiritual Closing, Candle Ritual mirrors Part 1's Permission Ritual. Real Senior Impact. Used the tornado steps when my son guilt-tripped me. His angry call ended with Mom. I'm just scared I'll fail without you. We cried together. Healing. Letter from 74-year-old Diane. My Sabbath Manifesto, Thursdays belong to birds and Beethoven. Posted it. The world adjusted. Comment from 81-year-old Robert.